Hey football fans, I'm Colleen Wolfe, and I'm excited to announce that we've officially kicked off the 2015 football season, but with all the excitement of football season comes a lot of pressure, especially regarding fantasy football. So in an effort to make your weekend more relaxing, we're looking to next week with our future correspondent, Mr. Dave Dameshek. Now, Dave is here from next week to tell us all about this weekend's biggest moments. Dave, a lot of stuff here to talk about, so thank you for being here and making this trip.
Sure. I just got back from Houston, where I had some delicious barbecue, the remnants of which you can see on the card.
Yeah, little here maybe too.
It's proof that I have been to the future and know the outcome of the NFL games week 1.
So you are back now, looking ahead to next Tuesday. It's only right that the season is kicked off with a fierce rivalry at Soldier Field. So can we anticipate a strong matchup here between Jay Cutler and the Packers?
Well, as someone who cares for history like you do, yeah, it's a compelling one in that. I mean, what are they separated by? 2-3 hours, these two bitter rivals. This time around, though, I'll tell you about a couple of performances that may define how the 60 minutes goes there in Soldier Field. First of all, Richard Rodgers will emerge this year as Aaron Rodgers' new favorite target. That's not to say that he'll beat out Randall Cobb in terms of production, but Richard Rodgers, the tight end, will be the recipient of some of those.
Devontae Adams?
Adams is going to have a nice year, too. Guess what? Anybody who gets to catch passes from Aaron Rodgers tends to look a lot better than they may actually be. Rodgers starts the season off with a couple of touchdown receptions. On the other side of things, Jay Cutler against that Packers defense that has some pieces. Jay Cutler has no one just about to throw the ball to. Eddie Royal is being drafted in fantasy this year. All right. We'll see what happens with Jeffrey early in the season. Meantime, Jay Cutler, 3 picks there.
3?
So maybe you get a little bit of a sense of how this game may go.
Okay, I could see that. The Packers, they did lose a pair of cornerbacks. Well, are you going to give us a score? Is this a crazy game?
My
Packers
rule.
shootout?
I don't love to do that to my fellow football fans. It spoils the game, but in this case, I think I've pretty much already tipped my hand, so I don't feel too bad. Final score, Bears come up with only 13 in front of the home crowd. The visiting Packers put 30-plus on the board.
Really? All right. Wow. That's a lot. Okay, guys.
But I think we've discussed already I already feel a little bit bad for people who have tickets to the Bears game now.
That's all right,
we should just stop.
It's good for fantasy. All right, a lot of fans are excited to see the Seahawks' first steps on the gridiron, since that Super Bowl debacle. Can Seattle's fans rest assured that their team is still a favorite for the Super Bowl?
Well, as you may have heard, this is not just the same old Seahawks, but in fact improved, you would think, at least philosophically, because now they have the big target in Jimmy Graham for Russell Wilson. In this first game, though, against division rival St. Louis, we will be reminded Marshawn Lynch is still the man in that offense. He will get a lot of touches. He'll approach 100 yards, even against that dynamite front seven there in St. Louis.
Nick Fairley there now, they added. That was an already good D.
They have all the good defensive linemen, pretty much. I think they have 9 out of the 10 best defensive linemen in pro football this year. And they have one of the very best running backs in the NFL. Like I say, he'll have a good day. Tavon Austin, hear me now, believe me later. 2015 is the year he finally kind of breaks through here.
2015. Okay.
Remember all the buzz about him at the draft a couple of years ago? Everybody fighting to get their hands on Tavon Austin. He really hasn't done much on offense. He's been a special teams threat. This is the year, though, like I say, that he finally gets it going.
So you like him with Nick Foles. That's what you're seeing and sensing.
I think they're gonna figure out ways to get the ball in his hands, whether it's off the arm of Foles or handing him the ball in the backfield. In fact, I know they're gonna do it in week 1, and that's all I should say about that.
Against the Seattle secondary?
Yeah.
Is this about Kerry Williams? Is that what this is all about? What did you see exactly?
I don't want to. This is an important division game in week 1 already. This is maybe the first game of the last season for the Rams in St. Louis. I don't want to spoil it. Let's just move on. I've told you about a couple of guys who are going to have good games. Enough said.
How about? Can you just at least tell me who's going to win? I know that's a lot, but you don't have to give me a score. Is it going to be a close game?
Final score: Seattle Seahawks 23, The St. Louis Rams 20. I'm sorry, Rams.
No upset.
No.
All right.
No, but a close game.
Okay. Well, I think most people can agree that a Seattle victory is no big surprise, but we do have a matchup that could surprise a lot of folks at home. Tennessee, they have Marcus Mariota against Tampa Bay's Jameis Winston.
I heard about this.
The two young rookie quarterbacks. What can we expect? What did you see there?
I think that these two guys are going to combine to buck the trend. If you look back in history, when two quarterbacks go 1-2, one typically only works out and the other one flames out. I think in this case, Mariota, for my concerns about what he's going to be, I think is going to be a fine NFL quarterback. He will have a good first day against a questionable Tampa defense there. In spite of Gerald McCoy and Levante David, I do think that they're still going to have some struggles there. Year 2 for Lovie Smith, though. Maybe that defense looks a little bit better. Mariota, either way, has a nice day. Does get picked off a couple times. Other side of things, though, his fellow rookie, Jameis Winston, a little bit better. He's got better weapons, so maybe we can attribute that to Mike Evans, Vince Jackson, and the rest. Winston, 3 touchdown passes. He also, in a theme that will continue throughout 2015, throws a couple of interceptions in this game.
And he's got to figure out a way to not get sacked, too. Did they improve that at all? Did you see anything like that?
No,
How
but
was the
I
offensive
think
line?
From a fantasy perspective, I bet he'll do some of what you saw during the season. Running the ball.
A little bit of that?
Yeah. He's got a lot of Roethlisberger, young Roethlisberger to him, who could run. Husky fellas, you know.
So I'm sensing that the Bucs win.
What you're sensing has nothing to do with the result either way. I mean, this is a game, 2 rookies, high-profile QBs. Let's not reveal.
But you know it. You know it. You have to. You have it right there. You can't tease us and not give us the answer.
I have it in here, but in here, I don't feel right doing that to fellow fans.
It should be coming out of here, right out of this area.
Tampa Bay, 24. Tennessee, 14.
Oh!
Home win for the Buccaneers.
All right, so I sensed right. Okay, cool. Great. Well, now let's head over to Arlington, Texas, where I've got a feeling Eli Manning and Odell Beckham, they're probably going to do some things this weekend. So the question is, how can the Cowboys protect their house against the Giants' talented receiving core? Well, maybe not Victor Cruz.
I like where you started there because Odell Beckham will, in fact, have a good day. No surprise there.
Okay.
The secondary is in serious question in Big D there. Could hold them back from making a Super Bowl run this year. But they do have some pass rushers this year. Odell Beckham, in the meantime, has a nice day.
What's a nice day?
Eli.
What's a nice day? We're thinking, does he get a touchdown?
He's going to catch a bunch of passes, go for, let's say, 120 yards.
120 on the nose.
Yeah,
you know that.
I didn't like. When I'm at the game, I'm not obsessively keeping it yard to yard, but it finishes down around 120 is what I will tell you. On the other side of things, the big question also for Dallas is who's going to be carrying the ball. 2015 is the year.
You have the answer.
We will finally have the answer to the question, does an offensive line make the running back or vice versa? In week 1, Darren McFadden benefits from that great offensive line. That's right, 80 yards.
Finally?
He's going to have a nice day against the Giants. No JPP, a nice day for Darren McFadden.
Wow, I mean, and he didn't really do a lot in the preseason, so this is going to be, it looks like a breakout game for him.
I say it all the time, preseason's a lie. You can't believe what you saw. These games matter.
This is the truth.
Yes,
that's a lie.
That's right.
What's the score?
This is the truth. I don't like ruining games. America's team against the team in our biggest city. Why would I spoil that?
But now you're talking about Darren McFadden actually being productive, so my mind is just blown.
I know. Now you're intrigued. Now you're intrigued. You're like, now I got to watch that game and see what happens.
Well, I don't need to watch because I have you here. That's why I have you here. So why don't you tell me what happens? You can do it.
Cowboys 29, New York Giants 19.
Oh.
You happy now? I'm sorry. Don't blame me. That's her fault. I didn't want to do it.
It's fine. I will take the blame. All right, our final look into next week.
Haven't we done enough damage?
No, we got one more. We got one more. We're going to Santa Clara, all right? Now, the Minnesota Vikings, Adrian Peterson is back, okay? But he's going to be going up against, well, not really up against, but you also have there Colin Kaepernick. Who's going to have a better game here?
Well, Adrian Peterson will indeed, as most people expect him to, will return and have and be featured in that offense. All the talk about Teddy Bridgewater, and I do like Mike Wallace this year to help that passing game. But the offense is primarily going to go through number 28 on this day. He goes for 100 yards against Navarro Bowman and the new look San Francisco 49ers defense. I say new look because I'm tired of insulting them.
And poor Eric
Worst
Mangini.
offseason ever.
They lost a lot of pieces. Okay, so what about the aforementioned Colin Kaepernick?
Kaepernick, if this team is going to be relevant this year, it must be on number 7's shoulders. The defense, obviously, very few recognizable faces there. Couple losses on the offensive line. They do have some pieces in the passing game, though. When the 49ers were at their best over the last few years, Colin Kaepernick and Vernon Davis were making a lot of magic. Look for them to do so over the course of the season if this team's going to be any good. I know in week 1 that Kaepernick is going to throw for a couple of touchdown passes, and he's going to do that. He's going to run.
He's going to run a little. Did you happen to catch who he was throwing to, who caught those passes?
I saw that, and I saw how the game ended, and it's great, and that's all I'm going to tell you about
How did the game end?
Have a good weekend,
everybody. Let's go
everybody.
5 for 5 here. Dave, are we going to have to change the name of the show? It's Spoiler Alert. This is a spoiler.
I don't like to spoil things for people.
You have to. That's the purpose. That's why we're here.
A big
That's
heart.
why you're watching.
All right.
Do you?
Big upset. San Francisco 49ers beat the highly touted Minnesota Vikings. Everybody's putting the Vikes into the playoffs. It is. It's 27-21.
27-21. There you have it. Well, we definitely have to watch this game now. I want to see how it shakes out anyway.
I feel I've ruined it, but you know what? No. You were witness to it. She made me do it. I didn't want to do it.
That is the sneak peek into this weekend's highs and lows. Set your lineups and rest easy, knowing the future is only a click away right here for a glimpse into next week. The 2 matchups here. Be sure to stay tuned for our next Spoiler Alert.